Invite Ambassador Ignacio Ybáñez, Ambassador from the European Union in Brazil. Good morning. Talking after Marcos. I have to putting back the microphone into the position for me. Excellent, Mrs. Cristina, Minister of Agriculture, Ranching and Supply, Marcelo Botelho, representing the Governor Elder Barbalho, His Excellency Villain Sinari, Ministry of Cooperation and Development and Foreign Trade for Finland, Excellent Mr. Eldigo Villanueva, State Secretary for Cooperation for Portugal, dear ambassadors, esteemed ambassadors from the European Union and other places. Particularly, I greet the ambassador of Paraguay, together in Brazil, representing Mercosur, Mr. Marcos Margarida, President of the Spanish Chamber and Vice President of Euro Chambers, Sir Simone, President of the two major partners for this event, Mr. University President, ladies and gentlemen, and all those who are accompanying us in person and also through the network. It's a great pleasure to participate in the opening of this important event here in Belém, Pará, in the metropolis of the Amazon and of biodiversity. I would congratulate the organizers, Euro Chamber, Spanish Chamber of Commerce, Finnish Chamber of Commerce for this initiative that demonstrates the commitment of the European companies located in Brazil with committed to sustainable trade in the Amazon. This meeting of ours could not happen at a more appropriate moment, being held parallel with COP26 in Glasgow. And these days, the attention of the entire world is focused on the climate crisis and obligation of each state of contributing towards combating climate change. And the President of the European Committee, Ursula von der Leyen, has underlined at COP recently that we are together in this climate crisis. And all of us, states, companies, citizens, have the obligation to contribute with positive actions for the fighting climate changes. And in fact, the results already obtained in COP26 demonstrate the will of everyone, or almost everyone, to contribute towards a global response to global warming. The pact against methane emissions led by the United States and the European Union mobilized more than 100 governments in Glasgow, including Brazil. More than 100 countries, including Brazil, have adhered to the global commitment, which will be to have zero deforestation by 2030. The European Union has committed to supporting the global fund for financing forests with 1 billion euros. The centrality of the debate in Glasgow on forest conservation makes the event in Belém even more relevant and urgent. It's a great pleasure for the European Union to see that Brazil has signed on to these two important global initiatives. Brazil is also to be congratulated for the commitment of reaching net zero deforestation, illegal deforestation by 2000, and is also declaring the reduction of greenhouse gas effects and 50% by 2030, and achieving carbon neutrality by 2050. The next step should be to translate these commitments into concrete actions in the Amazon and other biomes, and like the Cerrado and the Pantanal. The climate commitments are relevant in the global scenario, but also in relations between the two regions, Europe and Mercosur. As a representative of the European Union for Foreign and Safety Policy, Zerko Heya, just included a visit, a very fruitful visit to Brazil, which was received by President Bolsonaro, Mr. França, Minister Leite, President of Congress, Senator Pacheco. As the High Representative noted, the mission of combating illegal deforestation have a positive effect, and the Union and these partnerships with the European Union and Brazil. In this context, he underlined a strong commitment of the European Union to an agreement that could lead to relations between the two countries to a new level in commerce, policy, and understanding between countries. The debates in the next 2 days in Brazil are important because they're held exactly with the purpose of contributing to the efforts by Brazil of moving towards a low-carbon economy. But the debates in the next few days must be, above all, serving to explore the opportunities for sustainable commerce models with the Amazon forest standing. Because of its natural wealth, the Amazon forest has enormous potential of responding to the desires of modern Brazilian and European consumers for local, healthy, and innovative products that are involved in the demands of protecting nature and creating employment for the inhabitants of the Amazon. The new policies and are presented by the European Union to implement the schedule for reducing greenhouse gases, our Green Pact, show interesting possibilities for companies directed towards sustainable models. To highlight this proposal, draft bill that seeks to regulate the progress of the European Union with products coming from the forest. This draft bill and the European Commission, which will be launched next year, has the objective of regulating the import of products directly and indirectly originating from the forest, such as timber, beef, soy. And these norms is joined with the Strategy for Biodiversity and From Farm to Fork, approved in May of 2020, which seeks to encourage a low-carbon chain from agricultural production until the food. The European Union, through its member states well represented here today, will be partners in this green transition if Brazil wants that. For many years, the European Union and member states have been supporting varied projects and actions for conservation and sustainable innovation, besides highlighting the project Low Carbon Business Action, which has been helping Brazilian companies to have access to European technologies for low carbon. Tomorrow we will inaugurate a new project in these spaces, a project that sustains and innovates, which seeks to reduce the contribution of deforestation in the state of Pará. Before concluding, I would like to refer to the notable role of the indigenous communities and riverside communities in Amazon and conserving the Amazon forest. Throughout many generations, these communities have improved and perfected use of natural resources in the Amazon, maintaining the forest standing. We have much to learn and appreciate of the knowledge of these local communities on how to reach a balance between exploitation and conservation of natural resources in the Amazon forest. Thank you very much. Thank you for your words, Ambassador.